Hello again, everybody. I'm Chris. I'm all set to count down this week's 40 most played country records in the USA as they're compiled by MediaBase 24/7 for the week ending June 27th, 2026. Before I get started with this week's round to number one, let's take a look back at last week's top three. Number three was Don't Tell on Me by Jason Aldean. Number two was Hate How You Look by Josh Rouse. And the number one song last week was Be Her by Ella Langley. Now, can Ella stay on top for another week? Let's begin our run to number one. Here's the first of two debuts this week, a new act from Texas. They call themselves Flatland Cavalry as they debut at number 40 with Never Coming Back. And here's another debut, rolling in at number 39, another newcomer. His name is Jacob Hackworth. His first top 40 hit's called What Took You So Long. Here's a re-entry, a song that dropped off the chart last week. This week it's back in at number 38. It's newcomer Kevin Powers teaming with Shaboozey and Move On. With two debuts and one re-entry, we say goodbye to three droppers falling out this week: Fireworks, Sleepless in a Hotel Room, and Changed My Mind. On with the countdown, here's Jackson Dean up 3 notches to number 37 with Make a Liar. Up 3 to number 36, here's Parker McCollum with Killing Me. Up 3 to number 35, here's Ashley McBryde with What If We Don't. Up 3 spots to 34, Stephen Wilson Jr. with Gary. Up a couple to number 33, here's Hudson Westbrook with Painted You Pretty. Up a couple to number 32, here's Russell Dickerson with Worth Your While. Inching up 1 to number 31, here's Chase Matthew with Holding It Down. In his 22nd week on the chart, he slips back 1 to number 30, Shane Prophet with Long Live Country. Trading places with Shane, moving up 1 to number 29, here's Blake Shelton with Let Him In Anyway. Up 5 notches to number 28, third week on the chart. Here's Riley Green with Think As You Drunk. Inching up 1 to number 27 is Alexandra Kay with Straight for the Heart. Up 5 notches to number 26, second week on the chart. Here's Lainey Wilson and John Mayer with Phone, Keys, Wallet. Up 1 to number 25, Dustin Lynch with Easy to Love. Up 3 notches to 24, Graylin James with Water at a Wedding. Up a notch to number 23, it's Lauren Elena and Chase Matthew with All My Exes. Holding steady at number 22, John Party and Boots Off. At number 21, up 2 spots, Dan and Shay with Say So. In his 21st week in the countdown, he's been the third week at number 20, Zach Top with South of Sanity. Up 2 spots to number 19, another guy named Zach John King with Get the Drinkin'. At number 18, up a notch, here's Low Cash and Wrong Hearts. Here's the week's fastest climbing hit. Up 8 notches to number 17, Stella Lefty with Boston. At number 16, up a notch, here's Luke Bryan with Country and She Knows It. Up 1 to number 15, Hardy, Eric Church, Morgan Wallen, and Tim McGraw and MacArthur. At number 14, up a notch, here's John Morgan with Kid Myself. At number 13, up 5 notches, Taylor Swift and I Knew It, I Knew You. At number 12, up 1, it's George Burge and Luke Bryan and Ride, Ride, Ride. And at number 11, up 3 notches, Kenny Chesney with Carry On. Right, the first of the 10 biggest hits belongs to Bailey Zimmerman. He climbs 2 spots to number 10, scoring his 6th top 10 hit with Chevy Silverado. Up 2 spots to number 9, racking up his 15th top 10 hit. It's Kane Brown and Woman. At number 8, up 2 spots, here's Luke Combs and Be By You. Inching up 1 to number 7, 26th week on the chart, here's Corey Kent and Cole Wetzel with Rocky Mountain Low. Slipping back 1 to number 6, here's Megan Maroney with Beautiful Things. Just their 8th week on the chart, they move up 2 spots to number 5, Ella Langley and Morgan Wallen with I Can't Love You Anymore. Holding steady at number 4, another hit by Morgan Wallen. This one's called Don't We. At number 3 for the second week, here's Jason Aldean and Don't Tell on Me. The number 2 song for the second week belongs to Josh Rouse and Hate How You Look. And the number 1 song in country music for the second week in a row belongs to Ella Langley. Her 5th number 1 country hit, Be Her, from her album Dandelion. And that is our countdown of the 40 most played country records in the USA. Join me again next week. Once again, we'll count them down and we'll find out who will have the number 1 song in country music. Thanks for listening.